Hey everyone! Ever wondered why sailors call the bathroom the head? I mean, it's not like it's on top of the ship or anything. Well, today we're diving into the history of this unusual maritime term. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Cruise Ship Safety and Security channel. To understand why sailors call the toilet the head, we have to travel back to the age of sail. Think tall ships, wooden decks, and, well, not so private bathrooms. In the age of sail, sailors faced many challenges, and one of them was where to place the toilet. It wasn't just about convenience, it was also about practicality and hygiene. On these ships, the best place for a toilet wasn't in the middle of the deck. That would be, unpleasant for everyone. Instead, the toilet was positioned at the very front, also known as the head of the ship. Why? Well, back in the day, ships were mostly wind-powered. The wind usually blew from behind, which meant the smell from the head would be carried away from the rest of the ship. Pretty smart, right? The head was typically a simple wooden seat with an opening that led straight to the ocean, and when waves crashed against the bow, nature provided a bit of an automatic flush. Even before the age of sail, early sailors like the Vikings had their own version of the head. They used simple wooden structures that hung over the side of their longships. On massive warships in the 1700s, things got a little more sophisticated. Officers often had separate facilities while the regular crew used communal heads. Hygiene? Well, let's just say it wasn't their top priority. When steamships came into play in the 1800s, ship design changed, but the tradition of the head remained. More enclosed spaces meant better sanitation, but the term was already cemented in sailor slang. Modern Navy and yachts. Even today, the term head is still used on naval vessels and among sailors. Modern warships have highly advanced plumbing, but the name has never changed. Even on high-end yachts, you'll hear seasoned sailors referring to the bathroom as the head. It's one of those seafaring traditions that stuck around. Nautical superstitions and customs have been a part of maritime culture for centuries. Sailors believed certain actions could bring good luck or misfortune, influencing their daily routines and behaviors. Speaking of sailor traditions, did you know that naval folklore says never whistle in the head? Some believed it could summon the wind and bring storms. Maritime superstitions and habits were built over centuries. Even something as simple as using the head came with its own rules. Maritime jargon related to the head. The term head isn't the only unique word sailors use. There's scuttlebutt, which originally referred to a drinking station but now means gossip, bilge for dirty water, and galley for the kitchen. Even today, maritime language still influences how we speak. Ever heard someone say batten down the hatches? That's straight from the sailing world. We're now diving into some real stories from sailors. We asked some modern sailors and Navy veterans about their experiences with the head. Let's hear what they had to say.
I'm Jake, aka Screech, one of the deckhands. I was sitting in the head, minding my own business, when suddenly, whoosh! The toilet flushed itself. I nearly jumped through the ceiling. My first thought? Ghosts. Some poor sailor's spirit trapped in the plumbing, seeking revenge. Without thinking, I bolted out of there so fast I almost tripped over my own boots. That's when I heard laughter. The chief engineer was standing outside, wiping tears from his eyes. Oh man, he wheezed.
So, no one told you they installed new automatic vacuum toilets, huh?
Nope, no one did. And now I'm known as Screech because I'm the guy who screamed at a toilet.
We are now head over to Pete, aka Flash, the first mate.
It was a rough night at sea, but when nature calls, you don't have much choice. I made my way to the head, holding onto the walls for balance. The ship lurched, but I managed to sit down without incident. Just as I started to relax, wham! A massive wave hit the hull, and before I could react, I was airborne. The next thing I knew, I was flat on my back in the corridor, with my pants still around my ankles. Worse, standing over me, looking down with a mix of horror and disappointment, was the captain. We locked eyes. Neither of us spoke. He just turned and walked away. That was the day I became Flash to the entire crew.
I'm Alejandro the bosun. I always wore my lucky cap, even in the head. Superstition, I guess. One day, I was adjusting it in the mirror when I sneezed. Hard. Next thing I knew, my cap flew right off my head and straight into the open toilet. I lunged for it, but before I could grab it, whoosh! The vacuum system sucked it away like it had been waiting for this moment. I just stood there staring at the empty bowl, mourning my cap. The worst part? The crew caught wind of it fast. By dinner, everyone was calling me navigator of the sewers. And to this day, somewhere deep in the ship's pipes, I swear my hat is still sailing.
The future of ship sanitation is, well, quite fascinating. Technology is changing everything, including ship toilets. Today's cruise ships have vacuum systems, waste recycling, and eco-friendly treatment plants. So while the facilities evolve, one thing remains the same. The sailors will always call it the head. And here's a fun fact. Some old ships had carved wooden seats for the officers, while the lower-ranked sailors had to make do with, well, less comfortable arrangements. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more nautical mysteries. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more fascinating maritime stories and history, fair winds and following seas.